So you're retiring and trying to figure out where you want to live. Maybe you've already figured out you want to be in the Space Coast, or maybe you're looking all over Florida. Today, I am going to go over the top 5 places I see clients moving and loving after they retire. I'm going to go over those 5 places in the Space Coast today. So if you're new to the Space Coast, it is Brevard County. It is located on the east coast of Florida, about an hour away from Orlando. We're the closest beach to Orlando, and we're called the Space Coast because that's where they launch the rockets here in Florida. We've got NASA, SpaceX, Blue Origin, and a bunch of other smaller contractors in the aerospace realm. Sometimes I have clients actually wanting to retire here because of the aerospace aspect to this area, but maybe you just want to be closer to other family from here. Maybe you're looking for the East Coast vibe without paying South Florida prices, and maybe your family lives over in Orlando and it's the perfect distance away. So whatever the case be, the Space Coast is the perfect place for retirees. I'm going to go over top 5 places. First up is Viera, Florida. So Viera is, you might be looking at houses online and trying to figure out where is Viera. Houses online are actually going to have either a Melbourne or Rockledge address. Not all of the Melbourne, not all the Rockledge addresses are in Viera, so it gets a little confusing. This is why you want to reach out to an agent to help you guide to the perfect places that you've chosen. That is actually an unincorporated area. So if you're not used to using that term, I wasn't moving from where I moved and did real estate in Rhode Island. We didn't really have unincorporated areas that I know of. There are unincorporated areas all over Florida, specifically in Brevard County. Viera is one of them. It means it's not its own city, so it has county jurisdiction. So we have a sheriff, we have a county clerk, we have county stuff. We don't necessarily have a city hall for Viera. I like it because you have lower taxes because you're not paying for like a city hall or more elected officials. It's all the county jurisdiction areas is all going into the pot, and so it is more affordable on the tax side. Now, Viera is a master plan community. It's actually in the top 10 master plan communities in the United States, which is huge, especially because most of it has been built by a local builder. But nonetheless, it is a master plan community. So a lot of times I have clients who will call because they really want Viera, but they say, I don't want an HOA. Well, Viera, unfortunately, you cannot avoid an HOA, but there are perks to the HOA that a lot of times retirees, depending on your preferences, will like. So because it is a master plan community, there are multiple layers to the HOA fees depending on the neighborhood. There's also 2 different areas of Viera. There's Viera East, which is a little bit older, east of I-95, hence the name. And then there's Viera West, which is a little bit newer, being built up until today. That's a big draw because people like new home, lower insurance. They can design it if they like. There's fees to take care of the actual whole of Viera, and then there's fees to take care of your neighborhood, and then some of the neighborhoods also have amenity fees. However, I always say because the taxes are lower with those HOA fees, pretty much evens out to if you're living in a city or town, but you get all the perks of it's very aesthetically pleasing, it's planned, it's got a lot of really great things. You can drive your golf cart anywhere you like in Viera West, and you can go grocery shopping, movies, out to eat, which is really cool. There's a golf course there. Definitely one of the hottest spots that if I were to look at a list of my clients and where they're moving to, the top place is Viera. They do have mostly all age communities. I have my retirees liking both the all age communities and the 55 plus communities. So they do have a few options. The newest one is Del Webb, which is very intriguing. I've had multiple clients purchase in there. People really love the Del Webb brand. They're known for having really cool events, arts and crafts, sporting events, or exercise events. And so their amenity center is supposed to be finished by the beginning of next year. They've been open for about, I want to say 2.5 to 3 years now. And I know all the people living in there right now are anticipating for that to open and super excited. There is a small amenity center. They have a little gym and coordinators in there for coordinating events. But the big amenity center is going to be really cool, and that'll be open by the end of the year. So if you're watching, this might line up perfectly for you to enjoy that really nice amenity center. But nonetheless, there's some other 55 plus neighborhoods in Viera West. There's Bridgewater, Heritage Isles, and then in Viera East, there's also Grand Isles, Indian River Colony Club, which most people don't go for because it has a very high HOA. But the others are really great options. And then some people just like the all ages. They like to see kids in the neighborhood and all of that. So it just depends on your preferences. But Viera has something for everyone. They also have single family homes, half duplexes. They have these courtyard homes that are are really cool that a lot of times my retiree clients think they wouldn't go for because it's 2 stories, but they have a lot of options where the bedroom's on the first floor and then their grandkids or visitors come and stay on the second floor and they're out of sight. A lot of people have really loved that option as well. Viera is a big retiree hub as well as families, young adults. So it's just such a great mix. And the amenities are awesome. So that's definitely number 1. However, there are people that prefer other things, whether it's being close to family, whether it's no HOA, whether it's land, because you can't really get land in Viera. There are some communities where you can get about an acre, but you're gonna be spending over $1 million for those. Most people range in Viera anywhere from 400 to 800,000. But if you're looking for like a custom built home, you can get something over $1 million, and that's in Viera as well. Okay, number 2 on the list is proper Melbourne and West Melbourne. So those are 2 different cities, but I grouped them together because they're pretty similar. There are some really great neighborhoods in both those areas. One of my favorites is Greystone. Wendover Farms is really beautiful. And then there are some 55+ communities as well scattered throughout both those areas. But Melbourne is a very popular area. You can get a little bit lower price than you would in Viera. Melbourne has everything you need: shopping, entertainment. There's 2 downtowns. There's downtown Melbourne as well as the O'Galley Historical District, and they have a lot of wonderful neighborhoods. There are some neighborhoods like over by Lake Washington that are non-HOA. Sometimes my retirees actually want land, so there are really great opportunities over in that area, and there's also farms over there. Sometimes you pass by and there's horses. I think someone's commented before on my video saying that Lake Washington was the Kentucky of Florida, so I don't know if that might help you understand the feel of it, but it is a really great area. It's one of my favorite areas in Melbourne. But nonetheless, Melbourne's a big hotspot. A lot of times people, when they're moving here, I did the same thing. I was like, okay, where should I be looking first in this area? And Melbourne is the biggest metro. It's not really a metro, but it's the biggest kind of like urban. You know, it's not like super urban like you would find in Orlando. It has suburbs, but it also has a little bit of city. But that's where a lot of people come in and look first. However, with that said, Melbourne is awesome, and maybe you've been here before and you know this is the place you want to be, but you might want to branch out. There's some other really great areas like Merritt Island, like Beachside, Viera, what I like to do. So I'm going to lead into, if you're new here, I'm Rachel Langley. I am a real estate agent here in the Space Coast, and I help clients just like you every day, retirees, move to the Space Coast. A few years ago, I was just like you. I wasn't retiring yet, but my husband did have a job offer down here, and we were trying to figure out where we wanted to live. We started off looking in Melbourne. We were going to go for a rental, but decided to end up buying because we have dogs. As a real estate agent, I wanted to start investing my money as soon as possible in the area, and I just like to own a home. So we ended up coming down here, drove all the way around, and then we found the perfect place for us at the time. We've since then moved and bought a pool home. Nonetheless, it was not in Melbourne. We started in Melbourne and we branched out. So what I always say, give me a call, text me, email me. We'll set up a call and we'll go over your criteria. You want to have an agent that's going to help you direct you where the perfect place is for you. Reach out if you are considering retiring, if you're considering moving here, whether it's next month or 5 years from now. Go ahead and reach out because I got your back when it comes to moving to the Space Coast. Let's get into number 3. All right, number 3 is pretty much beachside. So beachside Space Coast can be anywhere from Cape Canaveral, Cocoa Beach, Satellite Beach, Indian Harbor, India Atlantic, Melbourne Beach. Cape Canaveral and Cocoa Beach is a little bit more touristy. For the most part, the prices are pretty, you can, if you want a really nice house, you're looking at $700,000 plus. There's plenty of condos. I'm not the biggest fan of condos at the moment just because a lot of them have really high HOA fees, and a lot of people that bought 10 years ago for this affordable option are actually finding themselves not in a affordable position right now. So I am more towards townhomes and single family homes. Most of my clients buy them. Some of my clients will buy a condo like beachside, but they either have ran the budget and they can afford it, or it is a lower HOA, which is a little bit more on the harder side to find. But nonetheless, there's all those options: townhomes, condos, single family homes, riverfront homes, oceanfront single family homes. Obviously, usually those are over $2 million. The single family homes, riverfront, you can usually get in for about $1 million plus. The beachside is absolutely gorgeous. Here we have 72 miles of a beach line. We also have the Indian and Banana Rivers on the other side, the intercoastal. So lots of options for people. I've had people that wanted to come here and have a boat. They've bought on the canals. There's things to consider, and that's why it's not number 1. So one is insurance is higher. I had a client that bought a near brand new home at India Atlantic Beach. beach, and I want to say after flood insurance, which wasn't required, but they wanted to get, because I have flood insurance on my home that's not in a flood zone. I always recommend flood insurance. With that home, it was about $5,000 a year in insurance, but that was a newer home. The older homes can be a little bit more expensive. There are higher costs. The homes, because you're beachside, are more expensive. A lot of single family homes start at 500,000 plus. The 500 ones are like the low level, like need renovation, 1960s. Obviously, they go up from there. But sometimes you're retiring, and if you always want to live walking distance to the beach, that you can go surfing or go do yoga on the beach or go take your boat out on the river, the lifestyle you worked really hard for and that you deserve. It's just the risk and cost you just have to know. And the biggest thing is just having insurance, getting insurance and being able to afford it. If you can do that, then beachside is absolutely amazing. For the most part, this area, hurricanes haven't really hit us that bad. We've only maybe, I think, gotten 1 or 2 hurricanes in the past like 100 years, and they've been low-level hurricanes, not much damage, but it's Florida. So, you know, if we're getting anywhere from a Cat 4 up, you want to evacuate, I will evacuate for that. But it's the cost of living your dream. So if that's your dream, live beachside, especially because it's not like we're on the West Coast or the Gulf, which usually gets hit way worse. The hurricanes usually are coming in from the Gulf, and by the time they reach us, they're a tropical storm. Okay, next on my list is Merritt Island. So Merritt Island is our in-between area. It's the boaters' capital of Brevard County, or the Space Coast, and pretty much, you know, it's a great spot to look at if you want to be close to the beach but not pay beach prices, because you do have to cross a bridge to get to Cocoa Beach or Cape Canaveral. But if you are a big boater, there's lots of opportunities and affordable opportunities for having something that is a waterfront, whether it's canal or direct waterfront, to get your boat out into the rivers or into the ocean. We do have a lock system over in Cape Canaveral. That's over by where the port is, like one of the biggest cruise ports in the world. But it's a big part of the culture here is boating, whether you want to just have your boat in your driveway or you're on the side of your house and just go, or store it and go do the boat ramps any day you want. Or if you want to have like a canal front, a waterfront home, you can have your boat in your backyard. So lots of options for that. Usually the canal front homes without a pool start at about 500,000, 450, sometimes needs a little bit of work, and then all the way up to $2 million and plus for the direct waterfront home estates. So lots of options. And then dry lots, you can get into Merritt Island as low as 250,000 with reasonable expectations, 1,100 square feet, 3-bedroom, 2-bath on the smaller side. But hey, you're retiring, you get done. Some people want to downsize. Lots of options in Merritt Island, lots of things to do in Merritt Island. Like I said, you're super close to Cocoa Beach, so you just a quick drive over and enjoy all the amenities over there, the downtown, the beach. And then we also are Merritt Island is really close to Cocoa Village, which is in Cocoa, not Cocoa Beach. A lot of times people first move here, they start calling Cocoa Beach Cocoa. You will get corrected. I did. Cocoa Village is a really cool historical downtown that I really loved to go to with friends, like celebrate birthdays, celebrate holidays. It's really nice. So highly recommend, especially if you're visiting, go check it out over there. But just so much, Merritt Island is just like that old Florida charm. It's very eclectic. There's a lot of 1960s builds. We've got NASA is actually located in Merritt Island. You're gonna hear all the rockets go off. They're not too bad. Sometimes we have sonic booms, very rarely, but those aren't my favorite. It's not a huge inconvenience. Merritt Island should definitely be on the list, especially if you are a boater or love the beach. Okay, number 5, last on the list today is Titusville. Titusville is a great place for people to retire, especially for those that are looking for something more quiet, more off the beaten path. There are amenities in Titusville, don't get me wrong. There's Home Depot, plenty of restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores, everything you need in Titusville, but there are some areas where you can get some land, you can get an acre. Some people are coming from maybe acres, like you have a farm in Kentucky and you're looking for somewhere where you can downsize but still have the feel away from people. I've had clients that love that aspect of it. There's also Windover Farms in Titusville. That's one of my favorite neighborhoods. Has beautiful oak trees with the Spanish moss hanging. It's gorgeous, and the homes are all custom built there. They're a little bit more like 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s built. You can get a brand new home in one of the HOA communities for $350,000. You also can get land up there. you are about 30 minutes away from the beach. So that's a hang up for you. Just know that you have to drive through Merritt Island's wildlife sanctuary. It's really beautiful to get to Playa Linda. There is a nude beach in Playa Linda, just FYI if you're visiting, maybe with some kids. So there is one, but you can stay away from it. Can't remember the numbers that are, but you can easily just look it up. And if you want to avoid it, or maybe you want to go nude, there is that option there. But it's a gorgeous view of the rockets. Titusville in general has a gorgeous view of the rockets because Merritt Island, pretty much like this is Merritt Island, Titusville's right here. So they're parallel to each other and the rockets will be going up right here. Gorgeous views. There's condo options and they have a few golf courses. La Cita is really beautiful. They have homes on the golf course too. So really beautiful homes and condos and townhomes. They also have the Great Outdoors, which is a golf course and also like an RV park. I've had clients sometimes when they sell their home and then they'll move down here, but they didn't want to rush to pick the house. So they'll go and stay in the RV until they can find the perfect house. Or I know the big thing too is if you don't have the RV and you want to still do that option, there's so many short-term rentals throughout the county that will let you stay for a month, even if you have pets. So that's a really great option as well. I know making a big move can be really stressful, but I've got this down to a T. So with that said, make sure you reach out. I hope you enjoyed this video. That's where I'd say the top 5, but there's so many options. There's Palm Bay, there is Rockledge, Florida, there is Suntree, another beautiful master plan community right next to Viera that has a really cool zoo there. So just so many places to consider when moving and retiring to the Space Coast. Even if you are not retiring for a couple of years, make sure you reach out. I'd love to connect with you and help you when the time comes, whether it's now or in the future when you decide to make the big move. So my information is on the screen right here. You can call, email me, text me, or schedule a call with me on that Calendly link because I got your back when it comes to moving to the Space Coast. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Rachel Langley and I'll see you on the next one.